Welcome to this virtual career series speaker session celebrating Women's History Month. This presentation features the engineering profession. We want to welcome our guest speaker, Brianna Rodriguez, a project engineer with Dow at Seadrift Operations. Ms. Rodriguez hails from the Valley and is a proud member of the engineering team out at the site. When not managing projects site-wide and leading engineering activities, she can be found powerlifting and power shopping. Let me turn the meeting over to Ms. Rodriguez.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I am Brianna Rodriguez. I am from UTRGV in the South Texas area. I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, but I currently have the role of a project engineer, and it's been so far as of now. But I have been a mechanical engineer at a previous chemical site. I've been an improvement engineer prior to that. And I was also an improvement engineer as a internship after graduating with my degree in Brownsville, Texas. I almost met Elon Musk, almost. Wasn't too far from him.
Yes. So why did you choose this field?
So in the Hispanic culture, growing up, our parents usually give us 3 options. I'm sure a lot of us Hispanics can relate. It was either being a doctor, being a scientist, an engineer, or a lawyer. And unfortunately, I was not good with any of them, and I was only good in math. So I stayed in the path where I was going to be okay and survive and not get in trouble with my parents. And thank God I listened to them. I didn't rebel against them, and I stayed in the path, and it led me towards engineering. I didn't know at what time what discipline I wanted, but I ended up staying in mechanical engineering. It was not an easy path, but I stuck by it, and I graduated with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in your current position?
So as a project engineer, we pretty much manage a project from different sizes. Some projects are small projects that are considered anywhere between $50,000 and $300,000. And then we have intermediates that are $300 and above. So currently I am working with both sizes of projects. And so within these projects, there's different scopes of work where some involve multiple disciplines. And what I mean by disciplines, these disciplines consist of civil engineering, instrumentation, mechanical, and whenever a project comes in, it's either going to have maybe just civil work, they might just have instrumentation, or they may be a big old job where you're going to require all disciplines such as mechanical, instrumentation, civil, and I think those are all our disciplines that we have right now. And so whenever we get a project in, we have a deadline. Whenever a project comes in, most of them, they have to be done within a year. So we have to build a schedule for them. And within that schedule, we involve disciplines. We make sure that each discipline, we have to ensure that they make the required timeline and bring in the material and cost that's gonna take to complete the project within that year that they gave us. So that year that they gave us is called a RTO date, which means that we have to return it back to operations, which is the unit itself.
So what do you enjoy most about your job?
Oh man, I enjoy interacting with all our disciplines. I enjoy asking questions that I'm not familiarized with. I like to, so as a project engineer, you have to be a very strong person. You have to make sure that you're constant. It might be annoying, but it is part of our job to be like, hey, where are we? Asking for constant updates like, hey, are you sure you're gonna have this material? Are you sure I need it done by this date? I have to ensure that everyone is within the time frame. I have to ensure that everyone is gonna give me what I need during a certain date that I give them or ask from them. But I've been good so far. I haven't gotten anyone annoyed so far, but that is our responsibility as a project engineer.
So building off of that, and you kind of touched on some of that, Brianna, what type of interpersonal skills have you found have been necessary or helpful to you in your
Okay,
role?
so it is a very tedious job. You have to have the persona for it, the character for it. You don't want to come off as mean, as restrictive, nudging, and just a person that thinks they know it all, because not everyone is going to be well-rounded. Not everybody knows everything, and you have to kind of humble yourself and understand that this is still an imperfect world, even though we have to live and execute our jobs in a perfect world. And so whenever you have to interact with a person, you need to, I like to do icebreakers, put a big old smile in my face before I go and tug at them and ask them that I need this information during a certain time. So it's been fun. It's something that's embedded in me. It's something that I, as a person, I'm really good at socializing, at making sure that I respect people and understand that my project is not the only project. Our designers have billions of projects to work on. We have three project engineers in here, so they don't only work on my project, they work on everyone else's project as well.
If I may ask, do you, in your role, do you find
Get the work and questions that we need answered to execute a project correctly in a timely manner.
Okay, great. Very good. Yep, sorry, the screen is kind of freezing here every once in a while, so if I accidentally talk over you, let me apologize.
Not a problem.
In your working with folks, do you work with folks like where bilingual skills would be helpful?
Okay, so as a project engineer, you're pretty much in-house throughout the process and life of the project. It's an office setting. However, when it comes to construction, once you've executed and purchased all the material and fabrication for a project, assuming we have piping involved and equipment that needs to be purchased for a certain project, it ultimately leads to construction. And so construction, here in the Valley, most of our construction and our contractors, they are Hispanics out there in the field. And so that's been a plus for me, because I am Hispanic, and I am able to translate, I'm able to explain the project to contractors, I'm able to go out into the field and look at the progress that's going towards my project. And so I'm able to ask like, hey, if I see something off, something weird, something that's not approved per the project, I'm able to catch that. And most of them are Hispanic. Some of them don't speak English very fluently, and that's where my Spanish does come in. I'm able to translate, I'm able to communicate with them. I'm able to bring red flags whenever I see one and prevent an accident, prevent any safety hazard that might hurt them. And so I've found to realize that being bilingual is helpful and useful, and it's vice versa. Sometimes they'll come up to me and they'll ask me questions or for help, and it's pretty awesome being able to help them.
Mhm. Yeah. That is good to have multiple skills like that is so helpful. So tell us a little about the training that you had. You mentioned that you have a degree in mechanical engineering. Are there any other certifications or trainings that are required? I know, some of the engineering fields, you have to become a registered professional engineer and anything like that. Do you have continuing education within the company or outside of the company that you take?
No, ma'am, there was no any certifications, any other side training to get to the level that I am right now. My line of work with my career in this position, I don't need to have any other certifications or degrees to progress. Our income will progress throughout the years of experience that you have for the company itself.
Well, as far as academic knowledge, and you mentioned being a math person, well, what would you say as far as academic knowledge has been important? The math and the sciences, technical writing, and some of those areas.
Oh, I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
I sure can. Yes. As far as, academic, and you had mentioned, being a math person, but in your work that you do, what type, or what might be some examples of math you have to use, or do you have to do technical writing? Do you have to apply some sciences to the projects that you're involved with?
So in project engineering, you don't actually have to do complex calculus, no complex physics. As a project engineer, it's mainly just management. You have to learn how to manage and stick to timelines and be very effective with your workloads and prioritization. So not all engineering roles require to have to do constant complex physics and math. We do have to have good spelling skills, grammar skills, because you have to do constant emails. So yes, yeah, I do sometimes miss work, but thank goodness that we have autocorrect for emails and a couple of other attachments that you have to attach onto emails.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit more about the internship that you had mentioned that you had? For example, what would qualify a person to be able, to obtain an internship, and what did you do as an intern, and what were the benefits from that?
Okay, so this is actually a great topic. And before I jump into that, I want to just emphasize that for the students that are listening to me, engineering might sound intimidating. It might sound hard. It might sound like it's not for you. Trust me, I've been there. I was not a smart person, but it's how hard you work for it and how hard you want it and how hard you want to how hard you want to succeed in this career. And so throughout my interviews for internships and my engineering job roles, it wasn't my experience that got me the internship and the engineering job roles that I have now. And I've gotten the feedbacks. I've always asked, like, what was it for me that made you hire me? So what I got from them was interesting. It was something that I was not expecting for any of them. For my internship role, they weren't requiring any entrance level. They were just they wanted someone that had the attitude, the motivation, the discipline, and being able to take criticism correctly. And so when I walked into these interviews, I explained where I stood, my level of experience, and I had very great communication skills and a great personality, very friendly personality. And so that's what they were mostly looking for. And from there, I got feedback from them that they were looking for people that were going to be able to take criticism correctly and take orders and ensure that whatever they told me, I was going to do. And so moving forward to how I got my internship on there, my internship was a manufacturing business. So we did a whole bunch of paper bags. I was in charge of one machine that made all these paper bags, like the Whataburger bags where they put our fries and our burgers. So we did Whataburger bags, we did Taco Palenque bags, Chick-fil-A bags. So I was able to fix those machines. I was able to make sure that we were doing the correct amount of profit per machine. We had to have a certain amount of bags that came out of the machine during a certain time. And so I learned leadership through there. I learned how to ensure that we were making the dollar amount required for the company daily. And from there, I moved on to mechanical engineering, and that led me to project engineering here. So for my role, it was the management skills that led me to where I am now.
In your current role, do you have any specific physical requirements with your role?
No,
And
no physical requirements are needed, and any accommodations that a person may need or handicap is all acceptable. It all can be accommodated to the job role that I have now.
when you're out and about in the field or out on the construction site, is there special safety equipment, personal protective equipment that you are
Yes.
required to wear?
So we have to ensure we have our steel toe boots. We have to have our FRC, such as the one that I have now. Our hair has to be pulled back. No jewelry is allowed, no smartwatches, no smartwatches, necklaces, no wedding bands. That's one thing that that it always slips by everyone. We're so used to wearing our wedding bands. We forget to take them off because it's not safe to be taking it out there. We need to ensure we have our safety glasses and our hard hats.
What does FRC stand for?
Fire resistant clothing.
Thank you. Does your job require any travel?
Not currently due to COVID. We have not been able to travel. It does not require any traveling, but they do provide opportunities. We have a private jet. That's pretty cool. And I haven't had the chance to use it yet, but Dow has a jet that you get to fly for free from Houston to, I want to say all the other Dow companies that are out here in the States.
Oh. So you kind of touched on it, but how has the COVID pandemic impacted your role?
It has not negatively impacted my role. With that being said, I like to state that I am a person that works 4/10s, meaning I work 4 days out of the week and work 10 hours a day, meaning I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. And so that's been awesome having to experience that. And so since the pandemic hit, as a mother, I am a mother, it's sometimes hard to find it was hard to find babysitters whenever the daycare got COVID. And so my son had to stay home a couple of times, and it had to I wasn't able to come into work. And so with that being said, Dow lets you work from home. So that was a huge plus for me. I was able to work from home whenever COVID hit. Whenever I got COVID myself, I was still able to work from home. And so it did not negatively impact me. That I was able to work around my situation and the COVID circumstances.
What have you found during your career, both at Dow and the other companies you worked for? Have there been some challenges that you have faced, and how have you tackled those, if so?
So Dow is an awesome company. In comparison to the previous companies that I've worked with. Dow ensures that you have all the training you need to be a project engineer and any other role here at the Dow chemical companies. The people here in Seadrift are very friendly. They will ensure that you know everything you need to know. They will ensure you are provided the information you need to succeed. There's this saying that says, if I fail, our leaders fail. So if I succeed, our leaders succeed. So we are a reflection of our higher ups. So there's no way you can fail unless you as a person don't put your effort to succeed in the role that you've been given.
What advice would you give to high school students as far as perhaps classes you wish you would have taken in high school to prepare you to go into the engineering world, or other classes maybe to help them develop their interpersonal skills?
I would highly suggest communication skills and bilingual skills. Bilingual skills. Also, a lot of computer skills. Learning your Excel and typing skills is very beneficial. These are the basic entry level skills you would need for any job. But knowing this and being efficient helped me out a lot. Classes that I would suggest to take are physics. Physics classes will help you understand how the world works, how engineering's gonna work. I strongly suggest you take physics courses, not only to learn, but it would also help throughout your college years. It will simplify all the other courses that you will have to take in engineering.
Do you have any final comments to high school students as they look ahead toward a career?
Yes. And I already said it in this video, but I will say it again. It's not how smart you are. Your grades may be a C, they may be a C plus, and you might feel intimidated by it because I was that student, but I wanted to be an engineer so hard. I tried very hard because I was not in the, I don't know if they still have them now, but the upper level courses of classes. What do you know what they're called
Like
now?
the AP classes?
Yes.
Pre-AP and
Like
AP
AP classes.
Mhm.
I was not in them in my junior high school. I started taking them when I was in high school, but I always felt intimidated by that. I always thought that there was no chance for me because I just didn't have the language for it, and I thought I didn't have the knowledge for it yet. So please don't be intimidated by your grades. Don't be intimidated by the degree for it. If you really want it, it's how hard you work for it. Okay, so it's how hard you work for it, not how smart you are. I mean, yes, it does help if you're smart. It's going to be simplified. But for people like me and students like me that are a little bit of shy and don't want to get out of their comfort zone, do it. It's going to be worth it. I promise you, it's going to be worth it.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Rodriguez, for a very informative and inspiring presentation. Just very much appreciate you sharing, the importance of that technical knowledge, but particularly those interpersonal skills, that work ethic, and having that positive and energetic attitude. So we
Yes,
thank you so much for that. And I want to thank everyone who is watching, and make it a great day.
thank you.